My parents sent my husband a watch for his birthday. As soon as I saw it, my face turned pale. "Don't touch it," I whispered. He asked, "What? Why?" I replied, "Please don't touch it, it's a trap." And that was it. We didn't argue. Everything was sorted out the next morning. Each of them received a letter and started screaming. The watch arrived on a Wednesday. The package was ordinary, just a brown cardboard box with a shipping label and a happy birthday sticker. Someone had removed a roll of wrapping. We'd just finished dinner, bland and beige, probably frozen pizza, the kind that leaves a thin film of guilt on our teeth. He was washing the dishes and I was wiping down the table when the doorbell rang. That's when we found the gift. He opened it as gently as if it were a pair of socks. "Oh," he said, "your parents sent me something." I looked over. "It's okay, it's appreciated." He pulled out a watch from a black velvet box. The watch was expensive, but too expensive. My body reacted before my mind did. My stomach churned, a gentle warning of low battery. I slowly wiped my hands. He was about to open the box. "Don't touch it," I said. He looked at me. "What?" I repeated, more firmly, "Don't touch it. Please don't. It's a trap." He looked at me as if I'd told him to put the watch in the refrigerator. I walked over, took the kitchen towel off the stove handle, and gently wrapped the box. Even through the cloth, I could feel its weight. Too heavy. "Don't open it yet, let's check something first," I said. He was surprised. "Check what?" "Not sure, just something." I took out my phone and took a picture of the watch box, in good lighting, ready to save it as a document, not a souvenir. I started searching online: manufacturer's logo, box design, serial number, price. It didn't take long. "Look," I said. He leaned over, blinked. Price, $3,800. No one in my family had ever sent anything this valuable, unless it was a medical bill or a last-ditch plea. My brother had moved out 6 months ago, barely scraping together the down payment on a house. My parents weren't rich, and they ate frozen vegetables with an old-fashioned routine. I'd been quietly helping pay their bills for years, because doing so was the way to go, wasn't it? So where did this watch come from? He crossed his arms and wondered. Maybe they love me so much they refuse to pay the heating bill so I can wear this fancy watch. I didn't laugh, and neither did he. The warmth in the air had shifted slightly but irreversibly. The watch was expensive, I knew it. I didn't want to believe it, not from my own parents. But I could guess where the money for it had come from. And if I was right, it wasn't just a gift. It was dangerous, a trap. If you asked my parents, they would say they were fair to their children, and that was true. If fair meant I did everything, and my brother did bad things and got away with it. I am the one with the to-do list, the work chart, the college application. My brother has only ideas about the world mixed with dissatisfaction with not having found his talent. He dropped out of college twice and forgot he was still in school. I quietly pay my parents' phone bills, which didn't change when I met my husband. He is not rich, not powerful, not even tall, to my mother's disappointment. But he runs a small local charity that gives out hot meals to the homeless. I fell in love with him like falling into a warm bed. After years of perseverance, he started the charity with almost no capital, no rent, no investors, just a few borrowed folding tables, a church basement, and a big heart. I started helping on the weekends, from slicing potatoes to budgeting. Then I was there whenever I had free time. The organization grew slowly but surely through word of mouth, community support, and a few donors who believed in us. We opened a second and then a third location, still using small but effective funds to help the homeless. At that time, my parents were almost retired, with no pension, no savings. My younger brother was still at home, playing with strange business ideas and forgetting to clean the sewers. So we asked my parents to do some administrative work, organizing events for the charity. The work was not too hard, within their capacity and meaningful. Everything seemed fine. Then 6 months ago, things started to change. My brother moved, bought his own apartment, he claimed. He started a tech company, mentioned intellectual property, wouldn't elaborate because of confidentiality agreements. I asked a few questions and then let him go because he wasn't tech or business savvy, just said it was great. At the same time, a new food supplier was brought in. It was my dad's idea, who boasted that he'd found a better supplier, cheaper, healthier, local. He presented the contract and we signed it after a 3-month trial. But the complaints started coming in. At first, they were small, a few people saying the food was unusual. Then it got worse, people got sick, had stomach aches, vomited. One man was hospitalized for dehydration, the only source of food here for 2 days in a row. My husband was furious, went into full-blown inspection mode. Checked invoices, ingredients, suppliers. The results made him sick, food changed, cheap meat replaced with good, expired items, unlabeled packaging, products still charged as high-end. He called a meeting with my parents and announced the termination of the contract. They were both very upset. My mother said it was a misunderstanding. My father insisted, the rumors are exaggerated. The invoices are clear. He thought the numbers were reasonable, and that the customers' complaints were probably due to the wrong food. He insisted that the contract could not be terminated just because a few customers were unhappy. He was angry, not just defending the supplier, but something deep inside. Defending the contract meant defending themselves. Just as my husband was about to hand in his notice, the birthday present arrived. We ate takeout, watched movies, or went for a walk if it wasn't raining the week of his birthday. He opened the box, looked at the black watch in its luxurious velvet case, and I stopped him. You know what happened next. The next morning, we barely spoke to each other. He made coffee, I burned the toast, not intentionally, but I didn't make another one. The kitchen was quiet, both of us thinking the same thing but not saying it. The watch lay on the table, wrapped in the tea towel I had used the night before, unopened, untouched. I wrote 2 letters to my parents and put them in sealed envelopes. My husband did not ask me what I had written, he knew. He took the watch by the corners with a clean towel, careful not to touch the leather or velvet, and carefully wrapped it up and took it to the charity. We drove away, not saying a word. The mood was as low as before the storm. When we got to work, my parents were already sitting there, pretending to be busy. My mother was reading the same email over and over again, my father was looking at a spreadsheet while scrolling through his phone. My husband and I skipped the reception desk and went straight to the break room. There, he handed over the gift box, I handed over the 2 letters. My father looked down at each item, then at us. What's this? Open it, I said. They opened the letters, pre-printed, polite, formal notices of termination, 1 month's pay, no more. My mother looked away sheepishly. We got fired? Yes, I said. My father stood up, his chair squeaking on the floor. We're family. Not anymore, I said. He looked at me like I was speaking in a foreign language, like I'd forgotten my script. We didn't do anything wrong, he said. No, I said, and then pulled out my phone to show them the watch's sales page and the price. Explain where the watch came from. They didn't respond. Why did you send him that gift? My parents couldn't even pay for the furnace last winter. I paid you. They remained silent. Where's the money for the watch? I asked again. My father shrugged. It was a gift. My mother struggled. We thought he deserved a nice gift. Is generosity a sin? No, just suspicious. Then they began to talk quickly, confused, defensive. We don't understand, my mother said. The supplier is legitimate. We just want to support my brother. The words stopped me. What did it have to do with it? My father fell silent, my mother looked away. Why are you so tough on that supplier? What's going on? Why lie about the quality of the food? People get sick from it. You know. He mumbled, people exaggerate. One person was hospitalized. He couldn't answer the question. What do you get out of this deal? We're not doing anything illegal, it's just a smart deal. It's just ugly. I leaned in. Where did the watch come from? No one corrected me. I realized they knew what I was talking about. I don't want to believe it, but it's true. My parents knew what they were doing. And they gave me that gift, knowing it was harmful. My mother folded her arms. We didn't force him to accept it, but you know what it was. They were silent. They put him in danger. They put the charity in danger. For what? To be poor forever? My father said, what about you? Do you want to live a miserable life? They make real money from that supplier. People got sick, no one died. There was silence until he said, do you care more about your appearance than your family? I nodded, not because I agreed, but because I recognized the truth. I care about right and wrong. And what you did was wrong. Everything. My mother was crying. Do you need time? I had said enough, no more calls, no more help. I was done. I didn't mean that, my father said. I looked him straight in the eye, tell me the truth. Now you two go. They left, without shouting, just silently, as if they knew something had changed. There was no going back. I stood at the door, watching them go out. I didn't cry, I didn't scream. I kept the silence like something fragile I had just met for the first time. I didn't feel like a child anymore, but like the adult in the room. The doorbell rang repeatedly, not gently but loudly as if to break the door or make a big signal. I opened the door softly. My brother stood there, red-faced, panting as if he had run a long distance in ill-fitting shoes. What are you doing? He shouted, without saying hello. He looked at my husband. He appeared behind me, silent, calm, unsmiling. Why didn't you tell us? He asked. My brother glared at me. You knew it. You wanted to destroy us, kill our whole family. This is a big deal. Why? I asked evenly. You canceled the contract. He said I had to keep quiet, let it continue. If I stopped now, people would want their money back. Who? I asked. He hesitated. Someone paid in advance. Now the contract is gone, no delivery. They want their money back. Not email friendly. So you took their money to push the contract through, but now the contract collapsed because they didn't deliver the quality. You're right to say you didn't know the food was bad. He quickly said, I don't know. Of course I don't know, because money is the most important thing and you didn't ask anything. He crossed his arms, I had to sell my house. But you should know that you shouldn't buy a house with money that isn't yours. I scoffed, you said you were helping your family? My husband stepped forward, you're just helping yourself. The whole room fell silent, then my brother said, if we go back to the contract, everything can be fixed. I said, no. My husband asked, is that a threat? I said, the truth. We didn't slam the door, but it was close. 3 days later, anonymous accounts began sharing on social media, old groups, local forums, and even the organization's Google review page. Does the manager drive a car that costs more than people's donations? Whose Rolex is that? Do homeless people eat? They go out and feed themselves. One account posted a blurry but recognizable photo of a clock. Then came messages to sponsors, emails, tagged posts, hashtags. Over the weekend, 2 sponsors suspended their contributions, and an event was quietly cancelled. That night, we sat in the office. My husband was exhausted, the staff was panicking, a volunteer coordinator was crying. I stood in front of the bulletin board, looking at the wall as if searching for answers. My phone rang. The State Charity Management Department called, talking about leadership evaluations, anonymous messages, management issues. They were very polite, which made me even more worried. I hung up, looked at my husband. He didn't ask for details, it seemed like he knew what was coming. The next day, my parents called or my brother borrowed my parents' phone to call. I didn't answer. Then the email came, simple, brief, and signed. If we reset the contract and returned the position, the attacks would stop. I read it over and over again and laughed, not out of joy. My husband sat next to me and said, "We have to report it to the police." I nodded. Tomorrow. We didn't sleep well that night. The next morning we went to the police station and handed over all the documents, emails, supplier reports, volunteer statements, screenshots of cyber attacks. We told them about the contract, the resistance, the pressure, the threats, the emails. The police took the file, unfazed. There have been a lot of cases like this recently. But you did the right thing by reporting it. I wanted to believe it, hoping that the truth would not be too late. The truth was still important, even if it came in a simple envelope, with a faint smell of soup. As I left the station, I turned back to the door. It did not slam shut but closed gently as if it knew we were turning a new page, the page where everything was revealed. 6 months later, the news made front pages in local newspapers, articles in regional magazines, radio interviews. It was a scandal of charity, bribery, betrayal, and an unexpected twist, a daughter denouncing her own family. My parents were sentenced to 18 months in federal prison for conspiracy, fraud, and bribery, and fined $50,000. Most of their savings were confiscated, their reputations were ruined, no more friendly nods at the post office, no more warm memories in the community. The court confirmed, the watch was a bribe, along with $15,000 secretly transferred into my father's account before the deal was approved. The money was for my brother's down payment on a house. My brother got a suspended sentence, 200 hours of community service at the same charity. The apartment was repossessed, the fake company went bankrupt, the CEO got a year in prison, fined, and lost his license. The website was taken down, and his name became a cautionary tale in the nonprofit sector. We were officially and publicly vindicated. The coordinating body issued a statement, the sponsors returned, the volunteers returned. The board unanimously reaffirmed my husband's leadership. The kitchen had fresh coffee and new hope. I went back to work, real work, honest work, feeding people, grounding myself, reminding myself every day why I chose to stand on the right side, not easy, not comfortable, but right. I didn't talk to my parents. They sent me a letter, I haven't opened it, not because I'm angry, but because it's over. Some chapters close, and that's okay. This morning I walked into the kitchen, the radio was playing a happy song, the bread was fresh, someone spilled soup and laughed. A new volunteer was teaching someone how to chop onions without crying. It was loud, chaotic, alive. It was good, and it was ours. So, do you think we did more or less? Leave a comment and subscribe.